Michael. We are live. Let's go.
I hope we are because you look like you're frozen. How are you doing today, Martin?
I'm doing great, Michael. Thank you very much. What about you?
I am super. There's a lot to cover in e-commerce undercover today. You know, I
Yes,
love having these discussions with you, Martin, about the parts of e-commerce that people don't talk about, the stuff that people don't know about, right? That's why we're here, yeah?
exactly. Yeah, that's always super interesting.
Super duper. So who do we have with us today?
I let you try to pronounce his name the proper way, Michael. You always
Easy.
try to pronounce the name of the guest in their own way. So good luck. Good luck here.
So my philosophy on this is that everybody's name is just a group of sounds and syllables. And if you break it down and think about it that way and don't try to do it all at once, you should be able to get close. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to give my best shot. There are three ways to pronounce this, right? The first is kind of the anglicized, like, oh my God, the foreigners will never be able to understand my name way, which is Abdel. That's easy. The second way is the Arabic way, which is close to Abdelrahman. And then there's the Egyptian way, which is shortened. Japanese people shorten their names all the time, which is kind of like you swallow a little bit of the del and it's like Abdelrahman, like that. So I tried. But that's who we have with us today. Sherief, a co-founder and the VP of growth at a company whose name I can't pronounce either. What are the two A's, man? How do you pronounce this? What are you doing?
Thanks, Michael, for this great intro. And by the way, my short version of my name, it sounds like a camel. This sounds like a camel burping, man. This is not a name. Okay,
We'll get your parents on the phone. Go ahead.
Let's make it Abdel. That's it. Okay,
Abdel.
and the company
Easy.
Abdel. Yeah, the easy way for non-Arabic. And the company's name is Taager. Taager. Taager.
Yeah.
Which means in Arabic, do business or make business.
Oh, okay. To make business, yeah?
Yeah, make business.
Very interesting. Okay.
Okay. That's super interesting. And can I just get some of your background? You're in Egypt, yeah?
Yep. We're based in Egypt. We started in Egypt
Okay.
3 years ago. The HQ is in Egypt, but we are currently operational in 3 markets: in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates.
Interesting. So really the GCC. I mean, if you look at the GCC as a whole, something like 40 million people, really wealthy. This should be a really interesting, really, really interesting conversation. And how about you? You're Egyptian by birth?
I just want to say that I'm Egyptian, and also all founders are Egyptians, mainly.
Awesome. Super awesome. I have so many questions. Can you tell me a little bit, before we talk about the company in particular, can you tell me a little bit about, I don't even know how to say this right, but just like, what is the state or the status of the startup ecosystem in Egypt? Like, educate people about, Northeastern Africa and let them know, like, what is it like running a tech company? What is it like starting a tech company? Can you get it funded? Who funds it? Like, all this stuff. I'm super interested. I don't know anything about it.
Sure. Let me tell you more about that. The startup ecosystem in Egypt has been on the rise over the last 5 years, and many industries are getting bigger and bigger, especially fintech and online selling, yeah, and industry that's mainly about solving the infrastructural problems that meet the people every day. We're talking about transportation problems, for example. Companies like Careem and Uber, we have the Egyptian version of it, and Driver. And also we have Careem and Uber. Mass transportation companies solving the problem of mass transportation. We have Swivel, which went to NASDAQ, I guess, a couple of months ago. So this is mainly it. But the thing is, by the beginning of this, it was really on the rise. 2021 was actually the peak last year. Many millions of dollars were pouring in from VCs and angel investors based in Europe and in US and also in GCC. We're talking about
what was the what was the catalyst? In other words, you said a lot of money's pouring into Egypt, but what's the catalyst? In other words, what was the thing that the foreigners found out, or the people outside of Egypt found out and said, "Oh, we've got to start putting money there"? Do you know what I mean?
It's a big market. We're talking about 100 million people living in Egypt, and big purchase power also. We have a big percentage of Egyptians are under poverty line, but also we have big mass population in the middle class and in the higher classes who are capable of paying for fintech solutions or for using private mass population services or for buying things online. And also one more thing is the online penetration rate in Egypt is getting higher and higher year after year. And online penetration, people are turning to digital and online solutions in a very high pace. And it's not only Egypt; it's also many countries in the Middle East are coming, are following up, like Iraq, like Jordan.
For sure.
One more thing also.
Can I ask
Egypt.
you?
Yeah, just one little thing. The thing about Egypt is also it's a gate for other sub-Saharan and African countries in the continent.
Why is that?
Because it's one of the biggest economies. It has when you compare it with other African countries, it has good infrastructure, and you can easily connect with other countries either through air or land transportation systems. You name it.
Yep.
Very interesting. We don't often talk about the startup scene in Egypt, right? Like, that's true. I don't know anything about what's going on there.
Now, I just want to come up with the number. When you see the total value of investments that put in Egypt ecosystem of startups last year, I guess it's somewhere around $700 million, something like that. Which has been rising in a very fast pace over the past 5 years.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And the thing is, I think people forget sometimes where the actual geolocation of Egypt is, right? It's in the northeastern part of Africa. And if you, like you said, if you go sub-Saharan, but even if you go like above that, there's all this activity now happening in Nigeria, right? And if you go into the middle of Africa, it's happening in Burundi, like all these places. What is the relationship between what's happening in Egypt and what's happening in the rest of Africa, right? So down to the west and to south. But also, because it's interesting, right? Because Egypt sits in this super cool place. It is a gateway, right? It always has been, because it's so close to the rest of the Middle East, Iran, Iraq. I mean, all the countries that are there just to the east. So it sits in this really unique place, right? Do you feel that?
Yeah, it is. It is a very unique place. It's near the GCC from one side, and Middle East and Saudi Arabia and Iraq. And also from the other side, it's connected to North African countries like Libya, and also from there we have Algeria and Morocco. And to the south we have Sudan, and then sub-Saharan African countries like Kenya, Tanzania, which are also on the rise. Rwanda and Burundi, as you mentioned, are also on the rise. So especially on the eastern side of the continent. Not to mention also the west side.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on there, right? Like Ghana and Guinea, and even in Burkina Faso, like in all of these countries on that western side, just below, like you said, sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah,
there's so much activity there and a ton of investment there. And I'm curious again about the balance between the venture capital businesses that you see happening in Egypt and then the startup companies that you see happening as well.
You want to know the connection? Why are people?
Yeah, in other words, there's so much. There's a lot of money, like you said. Like there's a very wealthy class in Egypt, along with the GCC, that is going to start investing money into that part of the world, right? And I'm just curious, like, what that pathway looks like to you.
You see, by default, many of the companies that started in Egypt, they started to think about, but take actions in going beyond borders, normally after the first year. For example, we in Taager, we did it after the first year. One of the things we had in our plan after putting the bases in Egypt and laying down the base in Egypt was just looking for other countries to expand. Saudi Arabia, of course, was the first one, the first market to hit after starting. Following that, we had also UAE coming. We are announcing UAE this month, and we have others in the pipeline in Kuwait, for example. And we're also thinking about heading, looking south to Sudan and Kenya and Tanzania too. So it became a default growth path for many startups starting in Egypt to go beyond borders and expand in either GCC or North Africa. We have other startups in Swivel, for example, was one of the made it. It was a pioneer in this, and after 1 year, it expanded in Morocco. I remember Maxap. It's another startup. It also announced that it's expanding in Morocco this year. So it became a default path for most of the startups that are passing their first year and getting bigger and bigger, and we're able to lay down a solid base for their operation and their model business model, especially after the penetration year.
Got it. So what exactly does Taager do? I mispronounced that.
Yeah, it's right, Taager.
Taager, okay.
We empower anyone to make money and build his own e-commerce business online. We offer all the services
and
anyone.
So end to end, yeah.
Yeah, we offer all services end to end to empower anyone to just pick the SKU he wants and sell it online. Either through
Facebook. So how does that work? It sounds really simplified. It sounds like a really simplified process for a very complex thing, yeah?
Yeah, it's very complicated, man.
I know. So how does it work? Can you just step me through it? Like, let's say I'm a guy who wants to start an e-commerce business. I'm like, I don't know where to start, but everybody wants this pen. Sure. And I know what the SKU is. Sure. What do I do and how do you help me?
I'll walk you through it.
Go ahead.
First thing, we offer you the idea. We have our website and mobile application where you sign up, and then after you sign up, you can find a wide selection of products and SKUs across different categories. You download the image, grab the images, grab the descriptions we write about the products, and then you use them to promote on online pages, either through Facebook or your account on Snapchat or TikTok, or you can put them on your own website if you have one, or you can build your own website. We have our website builder, or you can integrate. If you have a WooCommerce or a Shopify website, you can integrate with our website and automatically migrate all the SKUs to your website. And then after that, after you successfully place an order, let's say that the user, he grabbed the product and he was able to sell it and he got a customer. You place the customer's details on your account on Taager.com, and we process it. We deliver the SKU, the product, to the customer. We collect the money, and we put it in your wallet, and you can withdraw it whenever you want. It's as simple as that. It varies from one SKU to another, but it's a margin-based system. We get around. We get just the margin of the price we feature on the website, and whatever top up you have, the merchant or the seller puts on the product's price is for him. It's not a commission based.
Yeah, I get it. Do you also, so you don't do any sales yourself? You just say, like, here are the greatest products we know they're selling. We've done, and I want to talk to you a little bit about data analysis, right? So but basically what you're doing is you're saying, we're going to curate products for everybody, and we're going to run the back end payments and logistics and delivery and storage and warehousing and ERP and all this kind of stuff. But you who wants to be an e-commerce seller are really just going to be a marketing agent for all the products we say are super good because we don't have access to your cohort kind of thing.
Yeah,
is that fair?
That's right. You got it, Michael. This is exactly what we do, and it's working fine. And let me tell you why. Because sellers they know their game, and they are their experts. They know their cohort and their segment. They know how to sell it. So instead of having just one team or a couple of teams even who think about new perspectives and new content and new assets to sell SKUs, you have thousands of them, and everyone has his own ideas and everyone has his own way of selling. And you will be amazed by the ways and different and unique ways and the creative ways we found that people came up with to sell our SKUs with their SKUs. Product reviews, people just buying the product, getting it to their homes, video with a very simple video camera, just giving a review about the product and just posting on his or her personal account. People downloading the images and the content and just spamming them many Facebook groups and, and WhatsApp groups. We have sellers who built their own WhatsApp groups and they made it grow one day after another. They started with their family, and then after that, their neighbors and their friends, and then after that, the word went out, and the community got bigger, and they were mainly selling our products. So, tens of innovative ways. It's like giving the product and the service to the masses of people, and they will do the magic.
But what was the original idea? Like, did you and your team, you and your partners, right, the founders, want to be in the e-commerce business, or did you just think, you know what, we understand how this works, and we just want to give everybody access to it? Because in a way, it's an interesting idea, right? You don't do any of your own marketing, but you rely on everybody else to do kind of micro marketing themselves, right? It's kind of neat, no?
Michael, I'm gonna tell you that we didn't even have it in our mind that we want to build a business, an e-commerce business. It has never been an e-commerce business for us over the past 3 years. The main cause we had was empowering people to make money, to make their own e-commerce businesses. But we don't want to be an e-commerce business, and we don't want to be.
Interesting. But so how did the logistics happen? In other words, let's say I'm a seller, Martin's a seller, a bunch of people we know are sellers. You throw up a good product, I grab that product, I do all the stuff you said, and I start selling like 5-10 of these things a day, right? How do the logistics work? That's the first thing. And the second question, don't forget it. How does the customer service work for things like returns? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But first of all, how do the logistics work? How do I get paid? All that kind of stuff. Do you have a software dashboard so that if I'm on your platform, I know exactly what my sales are, I know what my commission should be or what your payment should be and stuff like that? And then who does my customer service? Do I do it? Do you do it? Like, how does that work?
All right. Let me start with the first question. We have a dashboard to analyze the seller's orders, so the seller or the merchant can know the segmentation of his orders or her orders, where is he mainly selling, and the expected profit and the money in his wallet. So that's a thing, and it's featured on his website and in his mobile application on the product. As for the logistics, we handle the logistics. We have our own warehouses where we store the products, but we rely mainly, but as for the 3PL services, we rely on third parties. For the courier service, we rely on third parties. We don't have our own shipping service, but we rely on third parties. But we have our own warehouses, and this decision also was made after a series of trials and doing things right and doing things wrong and actually doing things in a very, very shitty way. But at the end of the day, lesson learned that shipping is not our game, but warehousing, it has to be in our warehouse. We have to have full access on the product and on the stock because we need to have the full exposure in order to give it to the seller. But for the shipping, we can rely on others because it's a whole hectic game and it's a headache. Especially in a company. Yeah. As for the customer service, we have a customer service for the sellers if they have any complaints about their orders, for example, or their money transfers or their profits. But as for dealing with the final customer, it's the seller's game. It's not our game.
Oh, so they have to do their own customer service, but
Yeah,
they have to deal with you on the other side. So you act as their. But can I see this too? So do I take inventory risk, or do you take inventory risk for me?
We have the inventory risk.
So you take the risk. If you think like 100 hot dogs are going to sell, whatever it is, you buy 100 of those, and then you just promote that to your sellers.
Yes.
And if 98 of them sell, you got 2 left over. Well, then you got 2 left over.
Yeah. So I have to find other sellers to sell it.
Very simple.
Got it.
So you have all the products into your warehouse. It's not like products that you, I don't know, can list on your website and then you order in another country and then you ship. No, you have everything into your warehouse and then you're able, I guess, to ship pretty fast to the end customer, right?
Yes, exactly. This is why we have it in our warehouses, just to make a faster service for the customers, to make it faster.
Yep.
And also to have the full exposure on the stocks, on the number of pieces we have in each SKU. But of course, we take the whole inventory risk. As for the customer service for the returns and refunds, we came up with an idea for a separate business or a separate affiliate business for only handling refunds and returns for sellers or for any sellers online.
And why is it separate?
Because we wanted to make it authentic. You know, one thing, we created a channel. This channel is for anyone who has a business online and he needs to rely on a third party to do the refunds, the returns, and guarantees also. Guaranteeing the product.
Got it.
So we made up this business model and we call it Jawda, or in Arabic it's quality. And it's up and there for the merchants.
Interesting. Very interesting. And do you buy all the inventory yourself? And then, or do you, I don't know, somehow have a deal with the supplier and, I don't know, can just ship back to them in case you don't sell it?
Most of the inventory, we buy it.
Okay.
We're talking about 70-75%, mainly hot products and SKUs which are really on demand and we want to just have the biggest chunk of it. Like 20-25% of the inventory are on terms with suppliers.
Okay. That's cool. And does all your product come locally? Like, is it Egyptian product or, I don't know, like Moroccan product, or is it local product, or do you import from China, for example, or Thailand or Europe, or USA? I don't know.
It's mainly from China, man. China and
China.
Southeast Asia are the main source. But in Taager we have around, it's 40-60. 40% of the SKUs are local. We are talking about fashion,
local.
Home accessories like bed linens and things like that, and tablecloths and covers, and they are mainly manufactured in Egypt. They are local, and this attributes around 40% of our inventory.
Okay.
And our business also, our top line. The other 60% is mainly imported stock, mainly like electronics from China, home accessories brought from China, from Korea, from Vietnam, Southeast Asia, these countries.
That's super interesting. How do you choose the product? Like, do you take, I don't know, whatever you find, or do you have a special vetting process to say, okay, we're gonna order this product, we think they are good, and then we're gonna offer them to our sellers?
It's a bit long process. We first have to validate the SKU. We have like a validation process for it, and we built a team for validating the products before buying them.
Okay.
We just like run small validation campaigns and to test the demand for this SKU.
What do you mean by that?
Downloading the image, writing a description, and then posting it on Facebook or Snapchat, for example, and pushing it, bidding on it, pushing a paid campaign for it, and test the initial signals and the numbers or data we're getting on this campaign. How many views, the traffic, the conversion rates. And by comparing SKUs to each other, we can define the demand level of each SKU, and also we can define the supply. We can plan the supply. See, because there are two main questions: which to buy, and how much shall we buy? How many pieces? So we try by the validation process to answer these two questions.
I think I start to understand, and it looks like so much more interesting than what I thought at the beginning. And because well, let me just try to explain in my words what I understood from your business. Okay, like you find a product that you think is super cool, you test it on your market, so you run ads yourself, you sell it yourself just to see how it goes. And once you find something that's working, you don't sell it yourself, you offer it to thousands of people and say, hey guys, you go sell it for me, and then you take your own margin on top of that. So it's leverage your marketing efforts like huge, like all of a sudden you're not yourself just selling it, you have so many people selling it for you, but as you buy it first, then you take your cut as well. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. 100% right. You got that.
That's really interesting, and I never saw anyone doing that in Europe or in the US. I'm really wondering why.
It's like having your own sales and marketing force, but you don't have to pay them anything unless they sell stuff. It's like it's the ultimate gig economy implementation of e-commerce. No,
exactly. And once we started in Egypt, we were the first ones to do that. Okay. But after starting, many copycats come and rise up to like imitate what you're doing. We found even competitors who are just copying our content, and they even forgot to change the brand name.
Yeah, exactly. Forgot to change the logo. How about this though? What do you think? What do you think about companies like Opontia, right, or Thrasio? These sort of small e-commerce consolidator companies, right? That then will take your e-commerce company and then help power it up. Where do you fit into this ecosystem? Because it feels like it's just the model is just so interesting. You like do all this product testing so that the sellers don't have to do it. You just tell them this thing's going to sell. Like in a way, this reminds me a little bit of Glenn Ross, right? Like you have the product, you have the leads, they get the leads, they take the leads, they use those leads, and they do sales. You take some of it, so you're not paying them to sell, but they end up being your salespeople. And they don't have to do the work on the product side. They just have to do the work on the marketing and sales side, and you take care of all the logistics and stuff. And that's why the money gets split up. Like it's kind of a neat business, I think.
Actually, Michael, I don't know the names you mentioned. Who are you can just send me the links or something.
No, it's okay. So, but have you heard of these businesses that basically go out and say, look, you have a small e-commerce business. You've been running it for 2.5 years or 3 years. You're growing nicely. But if you consolidate, if you sell to us, we can then consolidate, do all this stuff for you, and we'll buy your business and then give you some kind of earnout over a 2-year or 3-year period of time. Your access to capital's better. Your access to product's better, and we can help you build. But what you've done is you've basically flipped that thing on its head and said, "Don't worry about any of that. We're not buying anybody." Everybody wants to be an e-commerce seller. We want to empower people to make money. We've done the research. We've done the testing. I'm telling you, this pen is going to sell, but nobody knows it exists. So you go out and you just sell it. and we'll do all the back end processing for you to make e-commerce easy. And then every time you sell something, we'll send you like a check or something, kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. We, in a way, yeah, I got what you're mentioning about this business model. In a way, we flipped it. Yeah. We got even we initiated we made an initiative just to test it. We didn't buy the product. We validated the product, but we didn't buy it. We got the image, and then we sent the image to our sellers, our main sellers, because we have a key account management team, and the key account management team, they have like the highest the biggest clients we have. So we sent them an image, and we told them we can afford this product, and we can bring it to our warehouses. But in order to do that, and we can even offer it exclusively to you. But in order to do that, you have to pay us like in advance, like 25 or 30% of the whole deal, and then after finishing the whole stock, you can pay the rest. So it's like going on a partnership with the seller, but not all sellers. The ones we have ties with, and the ones who are the oldest and the key accounts, the key clients, and we're sure that they have the marketing techniques and marketing experience to do that. So we offer them this service, and actually many customers hopped in. They liked the idea, and we got pre-order deals.
Super interesting. And so this model of getting the seller to sell for you is more profitable than if you were selling yourself without the middleman?
In a way, yeah. If you eliminate the promotion and the marketing costs, because we don't have promotions and marketing costs for promoting SKUs. The only cost we do in marketing is mainly acquiring customers or acquiring sellers.
But the sellers ask. So then at the end of the day, in the final price that the end customer pays, there is marketing cost somewhere that someone has paid, and the seller needs to be profitable as well. So if you do the testing, if you have a KPI, if you know this product is working, and now your company is going to grow and you will have more cash, why not just selling just the product yourself and just keeping all the margin for you?
I'll tell you something. It has to be done right. I have to do the calculation. If I bring the SKU, and this SKU is exclusive, and I offer it exclusively to the merchant, and I did the validation process, and it proved that this SKU is going to work, it is going to be profitable, because I'm sure that the seller is not gonna experience any extra costs or any heavy marketing costs to promote the SKU. Also, if I factor in all the bottom lines and the costs in my margin, in Taager's margin, it works fine. It works very well.
How did you find your first cohort of sellers? Like, what did it take to convince people to do this? And who were they, right? Were they people that wanted to do it? Because you talk a little bit about democratizing e-commerce, right? So maybe for people that didn't have access to it before, like how did you find this first group of sellers?
Great. We mainly started with affiliates, with affiliators who were mainly working in affiliate systems, or working in affiliate systems in big e-commerce brands like Amazon, for example, which opened in Egypt 1 year or 2 years ago. We started with them. We also started with dropshippers who know the model of making money online in Egypt, and there are a lot of them. Right. And also we started with mainly those who are working in digital marketing jobs, like someone who's working at like a performance specialist in a certain company, or someone who's working as a media buyer in a certain company, or digital marketing specialist, or someone like that. Those people, they have the experience
Got it.
and they have the background, but they don't have the tools to make their own money online. We started with those.
And did they, like, what was the response? Once they started seeing sales happen, did they start focusing more and more on product marketing for themselves? You know what I mean? Taking their own skills and actually putting it to work so that they could make money? Or was it hard to convince them to keep going? Do you know what I mean? Like, was it material to them?
It wasn't really hard for them. Actually, some of them, they resigned from their own jobs and they left their companies and they just dedicated their work for Taager. And
Really?
I'm gonna tell you, man, that many of them became millionaires. They made millions out of it. You know, the problem is hiring good media buyer and performance specialists for working in Taager. Because
you all want to do it by yourself.
Yeah, because I'm doing it myself because I found a team member working with me. We worked together 3 years ago. Once we started the concept, and the man was very lousy, and he didn't even fulfill like 20% of his work. And we imagine that we had a meeting on 4, and he just pops up at 6 p.m. and I'm sorry guys, but I had some errands and I have to fulfill. So I had to sit down with him and tell him, man, what's wrong? This is a company and this is work. And you cannot do this. So I remember very vividly that he said, look, Abdelrahman, actually, I don't need your job. I don't need working for Taager. I can, if I'm a seller with Taager or a merchant, I can make easily like double or triple what you're giving me. So he just like told me, why are you giving me a hard time? I can easily be a merchant with Taager. I can make like double or triple of what I'm doing of your salary. So and actually I was speechless. I didn't tell him anything. I just told him, yeah, man, you're right. Honestly, I cannot do anything about it, but you can just like fuck off.
Nice. Can I ask you the reverse question? What if I'm a seller? I love working with Taager. Like I'm having a great time. I'm making some decent money. You recommend products that work, but what if I find a product myself?
Yeah, we offer this service.
I just think, oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. I can sell a lot of this product. Yeah, but that's what I want to know. So how do I integrate that into Taager and then I use your system so that I can sell something that I found on my own? How does that work?
You can contact any of our customers. We are working on it to make it reveal as a button or as a feature in the sign up or the account page for each and every user that you want to ask. You want us to support you with bringing a certain SKU. But currently, you can reach out to a customer service or account manager, send him the image, send him the descriptions. We will look for it. Just give us like 2 or 3 days to validate it, and then after that we can bring it. If we find in the validation process that it's really worth it. I mean, we offer the service, but we have first to validate if it's gonna work or not.
Yeah, but so that's my question. What if I don't want anybody else to have access to it? What if I don't want to run it through your system of analysis and then giving it out to the rest of the sellers? What if I found this thing and it's like something I don't want anyone else to know about, but I want to use your back end, your payments, all that kind of stuff, the logistics in your warehouse to sell it. Can I do that or no? I have to put the product in, everybody gets access to it.
Yeah, we got many of these requests, especially from our top clients, and we do that. We just close it on them.
What does that mean? You close it on them?
I mean, you
tell me you can't do it.
I mean, it's only available for this client, and it's not available for others. It's not even featured on the website.
You can do that.
Mobile application. Yeah, we can do that.
Interesting. Go ahead,
That's really cool. No, but I always thought like about this kind of business where you have so many merchants who love you, who work with you, who trust you, and like the relationship is working so well. I always thought this is such an amazing place for launching startups. Like you should run an incubator in Egypt, and anyone who has an idea and who wants to create a product and who is able to, do some amazing clothing and stuff like that, but don't have the capital, don't have enough money, can't raise fund or something, and don't have the marketing ability to launch his own company by himself, he can go to you and you can giving access to thousands of merchants who can just like in just a few days, maybe just a few hours, start selling his products, right? So I don't know. I always thought it was an amazing platform to launch startups and much more products from people who want to start their own company as well. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I see that. I get you, Martin, but actually, it's not easy in all markets.
Okay.
Because some markets, like Egypt, for example, Morocco, Jordan, they already have awareness about drop shipping and making money on media buying.
Okay.
Right? Because before even opening Taager, there were words around and influencers promoting drop shipping and affiliate systems like ClickBank and others.
Mm-hmm.
So there is awareness and interest about how to make money online. And there is a good level of penetration digitally. But this is not the same in other countries. Some other countries, they don't have this foundation. So you might find it a little bit hard to find sellers easily who can join Taager or any other business model of the same.
That's really interesting. Really, really interesting.
Because in Egypt, over the past 10 years, we had a movement, many influencers, and many people offering courses on how to make money online. Mm-hmm. So this made it easier for Taager. Mm-hmm. Other countries, they didn't have the same.
Mm-hmm. And so now that you have all of these sellers, like all of these cohort of sellers, can you, I don't know, like for example, tomorrow I come to you and I say, hey, I'm making this pen. It's a really, really great pen. It's unique, blah, 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 blah. But I don't have enough money to launch my marketing. Can you help me? Can you put my product on your platform? And if we get 100 sales, then I can, pay for more production and you can and just handle my marketing.
Yeah, we do that, man.
You do that as well?
Yeah, we do that as well. We currently have partnerships. We even do it through social media platforms. We have partnerships with TikTok and Snapchat, where we offer them sellers and they offer us advertisement credit.
Okay.
So we give them the seller, and TikTok and Snapchat, they offer the seller advertisement credit to use online.
Super interesting. And how many sellers do you have? Yes, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
I mean, after the seller fulfills his campaigns and receives the money and the money is in the wallet, we just collect the credit we gave him or her, mm-hmm. and then the rest is for the merchant.
Super cool.
Is there a finance business here as well? So Martin was kind of going down this street a little bit, but I want to go down the street a little bit further, right? He always introduces the best topics. Can you build a business that finances some of these small sellers? Like if you're confident that a product's going to sell, can you front load them cash, right? So that they can sell some stuff and do marketing. Do you know what I mean? So that then they can, not so you personally as a business, not going through TikTok and using their credits and stuff like that, but can your business itself use some of its own capital to give marketing dollars to them if you're pretty sure that it's going to work, and if you're pretty sure that these sellers are actually good, because you can charge them for that, a little bit.
Yeah, we have this in the horizon, Michael, and we actually got a couple of offers from many companies in Egypt, operating in Egypt, mainly in this business, in funding micro and many entrepreneurs. It's still in the study. And maybe one day in the near future, we're going to roll out 1 or 2 partnerships. But business owners of such micro creditors or many creditors are just going crazy about this.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they should be, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess brings up another couple of questions.
Sure.
Every time you sell a product, and delivery and everything else, there's risk, right? So do you sell product insurance? And you can see where I'm going here, right? Like you have this platform, you have all these people that are doing sales for you, having all this money go through your system. But is there a way to turn this into like a hybrid e-commerce marketing, digital marketing, and kind of fintech and insurtech business as well? So you can build this entire ecosystem and platform around what you're doing and all of the services that your sellers need that they can offer then to their buyers, right? They can have too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? There's got to be a big insurance market for this. If you've got thousands of people selling on the platform, yeah, go ahead.
I guess, Michael, this is a spot on because this is exactly what he had in mind. We just want to empower people by making money, by building the right ecosystem for them to do this, offering them
the whole thing, though, yeah,
offering them financing, offering them website building services, offering them even automated chatbots. Not to mention the back end services, either warehousing or logistics or whatever. And the good thing about it is also we have millions of data segments and metrics, which we can use it also one day. Sure. What we had in mind, what we thought is like automate this process. I mean, of course, with the millions of data we have, we know what works and what doesn't work. So why not automate it?
Yeah, just make it all math, right?
Yeah.
Do you have you considered partnering with like Dr. Tech to be the sort of accepted builder for all of your websites? Since I hear that stuff is actually pretty good.
We should do that.
Of course, yeah, man. We have a partnership now with a small company in Egypt offering this service, and we got very good terms with them.
Okay, then.
Good stuff. Hey, can I ask you this? So you and Martin can negotiate later on that thing. But can I ask you this? I live in Thailand, yeah. I have access to like hundreds of incredible Thai products. Maybe you don't know these products. Maybe your sellers don't know them. Can I, even though I'm not sitting in Egypt, right? Can I sit on your platform as well and just like and look at the products that I have and just go, hey, how about this? How about that? This might sell, to give you access to new products. And then also myself try to sell them into the GCC and try to sell them into Egypt, even though I'm not there.
Man, I'd love to. Just do this, see, walk through the experience, watch it yourselves, and let me know what you have in mind. Well, let me know your feedback also.
I will. Because you understand what I'm saying, though, right? Like this it doesn't just have to be a regional business.
Yep.
It should be a global business, right? And it's an idea, I think, whose time has come. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm nothing. I'm just going to say that, I agree with you. We can target anyone, anywhere.
It looks like a great business that would work so well in Thailand. Like there's so many people who are trying to sell online in Thailand. Like it's mainly clothing. Like so many people are doing live selling to sell clothes. But I think it's because it's something that they can find easily in Thailand. Yeah. What about tomorrow, a platform like yours, we can give them access to so much more? I think that can work. Product. Yeah, so much more product and so much more verticals.
That was my idea,
yeah. But not to the GCC, doing that in Thailand for the Thai peoples, and then just giving them like, hey, here's Taager, or maybe this is Taager, and you can handle all of the decisions. You do the same thing, and you power independent people in Thailand who would start a business. That would work as well, I think.
Yeah. We're yeah, that's right.
And I had another question for you. Do you know the company AdSpy?
Yeah.
You know AdSpy, because what they do is that the premise what they do is that they say you are going to find great product because we are spying on everybody who is advertising this product, and here are the result of their ads, right? Like so they allow you to see like all the ads, and they say, okay, this one are the one that works the best, so maybe you should consider selling this product as well. And a lot of people use that. Like for example, French people, what they do is that they go to AdSpy, they check what's working in the United States, and then they get the same product from China as well, and then they sell it into France, because most of the time products sell first in the US and then in France. So many people do that. But what you do is, to me, it's a better premise, because you say, we don't check what the other people are doing. We are trying ourselves. And once we validate, we run the ads, we do everything ourselves, and then we give you the product that sells. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes we use AdSpy and Facebook's ad library, for example,
Yeah.
to our interest.
Okay.
How sometimes we fuck up, the product doesn't work, and we need to promote it. So we push it ourselves to raise awareness about this product. So others who are gonna use AdSpy or ad library, they will find that there are many campaigns promoting this product, but they're not people. It's us.
Yeah.
We're just building a fake, not fake, but artificial. Let's call it artificial.
Yeah.
It's an artificial.
In the stock market, we call painting the tape. You're just painting the tape.
Yeah, like just raising awareness around one or two products, and surprisingly, it worked.
Well, yeah, because you're gaming a system that's not set up for your gamification, right? You're basically going to AdSpy and saying and you're not telling them you own the product, but you're just basically going, hey, look, don't tell anybody, but everybody's trying to buy this product.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell anybody. And they're like, oh my God. And then they broadcast that to everybody, and then your product starts getting sold. This is exactly what happened.
Exactly.
This is exactly what happened in the movie.
Exactly what we do, yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. This is exactly what happened in the movie Wall Street. Blue Horseshoe loves Endicott steel. Same thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not a new strategy, but interesting use of technology to implement it.
Super interesting, yeah.
I like it.
Super interesting. Michael, do you have any other questions?
Okay. I don't. This is super great. We've got to have a longer term relationship with Abdel.
Of course, man. Of course,
who's made it easier for us to pronounce his name. But this is just super interesting stuff. Sorry, go ahead, man. Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for doing this. Abdelrahman Sherief, a co-founder and the VP of Growth at Taager. I got the name of the company right.
Yeah, you got this right.
This was super, dude. You got to come back.
Yeah, super.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Martin. Thank you for hosting me, and I'm gonna be waiting for your feedback also on an experience about Taager.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
If you're gonna try it one day. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Bye.